Hey, so sorry this video is really late. We were planning to get this out a lot earlier, kind of the week after Worlds, but we were just busy catching up with other things, and then the holidays came, and I went home, and we didn't have time to film this until today. So the purpose of this video is to kind of, I'm not going to say recap Worlds, but we're going to tell you about the winning totals at Worlds. We're going to compare those totals to the China National Games.
Because what else would we do, really?
Yeah, exactly. And we're also going to compare those winning totals to 2015 and kind of talk about how different the, I guess, results could have been if there wasn't the country ban.
Well, we'll just kind of recap some of our experiences from going to this World and some of the people that we met and some of the cool things that we learned too.
So we're going to start off with the 56 kilo category. The winner of this category was Tak Kim Tuan. He won the snatch really easily.
He finished the snatch with 126, which is below his junior world record.
Yeah, I think it was in 2014 and he snatched 135. But we haven't seen him really snatch that heavy since that junior world record, which is weird. But anyways, yeah, so 279. It might seem like a huge total, but if you're comparing this to the China National Games, Meng Cheng totaled 283 and he finished third place there. In theory, we're saying that Meng Cheng could have won the gold in Anaheim.
Overall, though, I think the 56 session was kind of one of the things that we talked about in our preview, is a lot of these Southeast Asian countries, they don't really get the opportunity to compete for gold and silver medals at like the World Championships and Olympic Games, and they're somewhat overshadowed by the lifters from China and North Korea. And with the country ban going on this year, that was a really good opportunity for them to step up and take the spotlight.
Everyone that was on the podium was from Southeast Asia. So there are 2 Vietnamese lifters and then 1 from Thailand. So moving on to the 62 kilo category. This was actually a pretty competitive weight class, as the difference in the podium between gold, silver, and bronze was 1 kilo each.
Yeah.
So it was really, really tight. Well, I personally thought that Yoichi from Japan was going to take it after he crushed the 165 clean and jerk. And I know that he's done 171 in competition a little bit over a year ago, but his best internationally was 169.
And he's traditionally one of those guys that's really consistent.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure.
When he had the winning, clean and jerk weight loaded, and it was something that was within his reach, I personally thought that he was gonna take the gold, but
yeah,
it was too bad that he ended up missing that last lift.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the winning total was 300, and it was by a Colombian lifter, Francisco Mosquera. If you're comparing this to the China National Games, this was equivalent to the 8th place finisher, which was Ding. He's also the 2014 world champion. And because Ding snatches generally heavier than Mosquera, he would have been the champion. But Mosquera, we can't actually discount him as a lifter because he did finish second in 2015 and he did have a total of 315.
After the drug testing.
Right. After the North Korean lifter got blocked.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. He's still always proven that he's one of the top guys regardless of country ban.
For sure. Yeah. So maybe it's another thing that he knew that he didn't really have to push himself, so totaling 300 was enough. So the next session is 69 kilo category. This was definitely one of the most exciting sessions, as I think a lot of people was expecting to see, I guess, a certain American lifter do really well.
Lots of hype going into this session, especially because it's on American ground, and even for non-Americans, just to see a kid who's so young.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Improving at such a fast rate, just to see how far he could go.
Finishing the snatch, CJ snatched really well. He snatched a new American record of 141. But unfortunately, going into the clean and jerk, he opened with 177 and he ended up bottoming out. So this is a little bit disappointing just because we know that CJ is capable for a lot more. So his youth world record is 185. Yeah. But that was when he was doing the split jerk. So a couple weeks before Worlds, he decided to switch to a squat jerk. And it was looking really good actually in training, but
Because he posted, or I don't know if he posted or if his coach posted, but there was at least some videos circulating of him doing 180 more than once, and it didn't look like it was like a big struggle.
Oh,
like,
was it? Yeah.
Honestly, it looked really good, especially considering it was such a late change. But I think a lot of people kind of questioned coming into the Worlds, like, if and why he would switch at such a,
Critical
period
time.
close to competition. I know in CJ's video log, he says that it felt good, so he did it.
Yeah. Well, it looked really good too. It's just that when he was, I guess, trying to stabilize, he couldn't really do it, and he wasn't getting the down signal immediately, and he just kind of lost it overhead.
Obviously, we don't know the exact reasons why the switch was made. One of the things that a lot of people had as far as like their assessment of CJ's jerks when he was doing a split jerk was that his back is like excessively lordotic. Like it's almost like overarched when he receives the weight in the split. When he recovers, he kind of maintains that anterior pelvic tilt. His hips remain a bit flexed. Theoretically, a squat jerk may be able to put some more of the weight like through the shoulders rather than just being excessively overarched.
Yeah.
But I think the way that he missed his jerks, I don't know if it was because of the squat jerk itself or just because of, the poor stability that he has in his final like recovered position where his back was still very overarched and obviously was having difficulty stabilizing.
He's not a good doctor. But CJ bombing out, I don't think it's the end of the world, really. Like, I think everyone is a little bit disappointed, but CJ is going to stick with the 69 kilo category or whatever it's going to be when they release the new, I guess, weight classes until after 2020. So I think we can trust that he'll put up, a 190 clean and jerk at some point.
It's not a world championships until someone bombs out on squat jerks.
Oh shit. Okay, so the winner of this session with a 326 total was Wong Jiang-sik. So this guy, there wasn't too much information about him before, but we knew that he competed at 2012 Olympics. Recently there was a video that was released after a World of him clean and jerking 195. He really smokes the clean, and the part that he does struggle with is the jerk, and due to the angle of the video, you can't really tell if it's like a white lighted lift in competition, but still the guy clean and jerks 195, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I mean with his, he finished on a 178 clean and jerk, and I remember he got like a really kind of controversial jury overturn.
I think it was the referees actually.
Yeah.
So what happened is he was taking 181, I believe, and there's like a little bit of movement in his elbow, but like if you looked across the session, stuff like that was getting through, and they red lighted it, and not a lot of people were happy about that, especially that girl that was sitting behind us from that one place in San Francisco.
I remember. So if you compare the results from this session to the 69 kilo session at China National Games, if you go to 7th place, Liu Weijian, he totaled 328, which would have been the winning total this year. And then of course if you go all the way up to Shi Ziyong's total of 358, there's quite a big disparity there.
Yeah, 30 kilos. Also, to put it into perspective, 326 would have been good enough for 7th place at 2015 Worlds. So I think it's really evident that the country ban had a huge effect on this category.
Yeah.
And also there were some injuries to, I guess, Luis Mascara, and that's why he wasn't there as well.
One thing that we didn't really mention is that being a post-Olympic year, the turnout is traditionally always poor compared to other world championships.
But if you look at actually 2013, there were some like big lifts, right? Like 176 snatched by Liu. Liao set a world record at 2013 Worlds as well.
Yeah, so I mean that really just depends on which countries decide to send their top lifters, and China seems to decide to do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess so.
But I think if you even just look at the overall participation, the number of lifters that entered is traditionally much lower.
Someone fact check this guy.
Ding. I'm right. So moving on to 77 kilo category, and this is one of the really hyped up weight classes because Harrison Morris is on a really rapid rise. But just going over the winner of the category first, unsurprisingly, Muhammad Ehab.
Yeah, so Ehab swept the gold in, I guess, the snatch, the clean and jerk, and the total. We actually had a chance to sit down with him during the 94 kilo session. And you know what? I think he's a great guy. He's super humble. Another thing that was really cool is he was like coaching people at the Leica booth.
Yeah, he just seems to be really into being part of the lifting community.
Yeah.
I just feel like weightlifting has a bit of a different culture here in North America versus overseas. Because for them it's all professional, but here it's like there's so many recreational lifters, and I think Ehab just loves kind of being part of that culture as well and the community, and I mean, everyone loved him.
One interesting thing about Ehab is when we sat down and we talked to him, he actually recognizes that he's not the best in the world. He thinks that he's the third best, so behind Liu and behind Nijat of Kazakhstan, which is pretty humbling just because it's like, oh, well, this guy just won Worlds, but he knows how to keep it real.
Yeah, very kind of a candid guy. Doesn't really seem to try to portray himself in an artificial way at all.
So we asked him what his best lifts were, but what he told us is he snatched 167 about a month before Worlds, and he also clean and jerked 200. Another thing that was cool is he got some gifts, didn't he, from one of the best lifters in the world.
He was very eager to show us some gifts that Lu Xiaojun gave him, and I think it was sent over by proxy through some guy, I don't know.
Yeah. Some dude. So he got some Chinese tea, and he got this like almost a pendant. I don't know if it was a necklace, it was just like a pendant. Another lifter that we met that Larry mentioned earlier was Harrison Morris. So he had a great showing. He totaled 348, which was good enough for the bronze in the total. He set a new clean and jerk senior American record.
American world record.
American world record. Anyways, and a new youth world record with 193. So one thing that was interesting, I don't know if everyone caught this, but at the top of his clean at 193, he said his VMO was actually cramping up, but he still smoked the jerk, which was awesome.
I don't think I was at this session.
Yeah, this guy, he was actually not at this session. He was at Universal at this time. Oh, you're right. I guess I should just talk about this. So the last thing about Harrison Morris, when we talked to him after the sessions, we congratulated him on his excellent lifting. We learned that he was going to move up to 85 kilograms after this meet. So it'll be actually interesting to see what he can do. And right now, there's another lifter from the US that's killing it. I think he totaled over 350 at American Open, and this is Jordan Cantrell. He didn't make the Worlds team, but he is obviously a really strong lifter at 85.
I think Jordan Cantrell, his total that he hit at the American Open would have been the next highest St. Clair after Harrison's performance, if you compare it to the other Americans.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
We had a few questions for Harrison. He kindly declined our group photo suggestion. Harrison's one of those guys that would be great for advertisements because you can't really tell what his race is. It's very ambiguous.
Yeah, so I always thought he was mulatto, and I think a lot of people thought that as well, but he's not mulatto at all.
We know that he's part Hawaiian, he's part Filipino, and
some sort of white.
That really kind of makes sense when you look at his skin complexion and his hairstyle, but I think that is not what most people thought.
Yeah, I know, that was nuts. So, somebody that was missing that would have given Ehab some competition was Yeison Lopez. And I think it's a little bit unfortunate that he got popped within Colombia because we think that he could have been a contender for the gold medal.
During our preview episode, it was kind of unclear why he wasn't coming.
Cat's out of the bag.
These are baseless accusations. So, who knows? And now, if we compare this session to the results from China National Games, it actually stacks up pretty well. Lu Xiaojun won National Games with 366, and he would have been the only lifter who totaled higher than the world champion this year. So if you look at second place, that's Zhong Guosheng, and he hit 354, which is below Ehab's total. So I think on the one hand, it just shows that the 77 kilo class is one of the more competitive despite the country ban, but then also kind of reinforces the fact that Ehab brought it himself, that he knows and recognizes there are other lifters that are still, hitting higher weights than him.
Yeah, I think that's good. So that concludes our video for the first half of the sessions that we're gonna cover. The next sessions we're gonna start with 85s and going all the way to the supers. So we actually had a chance to do a short interview with Toshiki, so we'll be including some of the interesting facts in there. Or we might just do a separate video.
And if there's other kind of things that you guys are interested in hearing, our opinion, or other type of things that you liked from this video that you want us to go into more detail next time, just let us know in the comments.
Okay, thanks for watching.